Where's your daddy? All right, so it's Sunday morning, and today I'm gonna make some Tikka Masala chicken for lunch because everybody's always hungry after church. So I want to make sure that I have it ready by the time that we get home. So when I clean up my chicken, I like to take off some of this excess fat that you have here. Chicken thighs are pretty fatty as it is, and I feel like you don't really need any of the extra unless you like chicken fat. But all right, so I got my chicken all cubed up in about 1-inch chunks or so. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pan preheated. This is a 6-quart rondeau. I'm gonna start it off like at a 7. I've been making this dish for a few years now, and we get store-bought Tikka Masala, which is cheating, I guess. But this is really good, and we like it. We've tried a few brands, and the Costco one is the one that I actually like. We like the best, I think. So we're gonna be using this today. At this point, I wanna go ahead and add my olive oil, and I'm just gonna add enough to cover the bottom of the pot. So make sure, and you can see it already is shimmering. I'm also gonna add about 3 spoons of butter. And this is where you can customize your recipe. You could actually add some garlic if you want and some other things. And I probably would do it, but I really don't have a lot of time this morning. So I'm just gonna keep it simple. You wanna make sure that the butter melts, but it doesn't burn. And butter burns very easily. So if you start to see that the butter starts to get brown, I would go ahead and add the chicken. Even if the whole butter hasn't melted yet, just so you don't get burnt butter. I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken to the mix. It's actually quite a lot of chicken. It's like 3 pounds of chicken, I think, which is a lot. Normally I would do like 2 pounds. So I temporarily turn up my heat even more because it was kind of taking long. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my sauce at this point, now that the chicken is about 75% cooked. 2 jars for this specific thing. So what I do is I use some chicken stock, and I'll just pour just a little in there. We're gonna shake it. And because we have 2, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer that to the other jar, and we're gonna do the same thing. Shake it, and we add it to the pot. And this sauce is gonna reduce quite a bit, and we want it to reduce, we want it to thicken up quite a bit. Right now it's not, so that's fine. It's gotta simmer for about, I would say, 30 minutes or so. I'm gonna half cover it. All right, in the meantime, we're gonna make some naan bread, or at least get it ready. And I'm gonna grab some warm water, about 100 degrees or so. And we're gonna add some active dry yeast. Some yeast. Let's see, 1 tablespoon of sugar. Gotta give your yeast something to eat. Then we're gonna mix it up. Pretty much immediately you start to see a little bit of foaming in. It smells like bread, you know? The smell of yeast is really great. We're gonna let that rest for about 10 minutes. We gotta get, it's gotta get foamy, or, you know, like frothy. And that's what you wanna see. If your yeast does not get frothy, that's a problem. That means your yeast is dead. We're gonna get 2 large eggs. My recipe is for 10 naans, the regular size naans. I'm gonna make double that today. 1/3, so 2/3 cups of avocado oil. Okay, so I got 2/3 cups of avocado oil, and we use avocado for this because it's a neutral flavor oil, so you're not gonna get like a specific taste from it. How many grams is 4.5 cups of flour?
4.2 ounces weighs 119.0679 grams.
As I was saying, the conversion can vary a bit depending on the type of flour and how you measure it.
All All right, so we got about 10 minutes left, and I just reduced the heat down to 3. Whoa. And we're gonna let it do the last 10 minutes at a little bit lower fire. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. I have a cup of water right here with my yeast, and as you can see, it's very frothy and foamy on top. That's what you wanna see. I have all my other ingredients in the bowl ready to go, and so I'm gonna go ahead and add the water with the yeast. Right? And you don't have to use a mixer for this. You can do it by hand, and it's actually very easy. So the first thing I'm going to do, if you have a mixer, I'm just going to get it on this 2 setting, which is the low setting, and I'm just going to make sure that all the ingredients get stirred in together and get mixed in together real good before we start kneading. Once you see your ingredients are mostly incorporated, then I'm going to go up to about a 4. And that will begin the kneading process. All right, so very important to note, it's been kneading for about 10 minutes. And if your dough looks a little too gooey, that means it needs more flour. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of flour to this. So I doubled this recipe, and that's why it's kind of experimental. So I think it's a little wet. And then we'll mix it in again. And just mix it in and knead it for a couple minutes and see where it's at. All right, so while that's kneading, it's been about 35 minutes and our sauce is coming along very, very nicely. All right, so our dough has been proofing for about, I would say about 10 minutes after I added the extra flour. It's looking a lot better. We're gonna get this out of here and we're gonna make a ball and we're gonna let it rest. All right, so it has been a couple of hours and our dough has been proofing for that long. I'm gonna get some flour on my hands and this is looking really good. Look at that. Where's your daddy? Where's your daddy? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and take my dough and I'm gonna roll it. So by the way, I ended up adding about a half a cup of flour more to it. So yeah, it was too wet. So that happens sometimes, I guess. And I need to learn a little bit more about how that works. I'm gonna cut this into sections about this big. This is gonna be one piece of naan. And I'm gonna try to keep them all as uniform as possible. I got 17 little balls of dough right here that will become naan bread. So I'm gonna let them rest for about another 20 minutes for one last rice, and then we'll go ahead and cook them. So I'm melting some butter here, and you see this white foam. This is like a milk byproduct, and you don't necessarily want that, because it gets kind of bitter if you kind of overcook it. So I'm just gonna remove that. Let me go ahead and add my garlic.
Sounds good, buddy.
With salt, that made the difference, didn't it?
Yeah.
I could just have that for lunch.
I know, right?
All right, I'm coming in with the next one. Okay, so I didn't really talk that much there toward the end. We had just got back from church and it was time to reheat the Tikka Masala. And then wifey and I started working together on the naan bread. She also made some really great white rice to go along with it, and it was really, really great. It was fun spending some time together. As always, we try to do on Sundays. We cook together and we eat together, and we talk about our week and we talk about different things. So, I feel like nothing brings people together more than food, and this is a great example of that. And so we had a great time. I highly recommend this recipe. I would probably add a little bit more salt to the dough just to give the naan a little bit more flavor. But once you start eating with the sauce, it actually comes together really well. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.